London, 1560. Candlelight flickers across the walls of the royal chambers. Outside, the wind carries whispers of plots and betrayals. Inside, a queen stirs in her bed, eyes wide, heart pounding. A shadow has crossed her dreams. Not a stranger, but a sister. The sister cannot escape. Elizabeth I, barely 27, sits upright, staring at the gilded ceiling. Her hand rests on the folds of her velvet gown, trembling. Each letter delivered by the royal post could carry life or death, each envoy a dagger in disguise. She knows it. Mary Stuart, Queen of Scots, is more than a distant cousin. She is a storm clothed in silk, a rival with blood like fire and ambition sharper than any sword in England. It is said that Elizabeth did not sleep through nights unbroken, haunted by the thought of Mary. The letters intercepted, the messages decoded, every whisper of allegiance could unravel her fragile rule. Mary, by contrast, lives beneath the sun of French courts, her beauty and charm bending nobles to her will. At 16, widowed and young, she enters a world where crowns are fragile and power is inherited, not earned. A queen in France, a widow in Scotland, a claim to England that will shiver the foundations of a kingdom. And yet, Elizabeth cannot strike openly. Mary is kin, a cousin of royal blood, and the eyes of Europe watch every misstep. The weight of crowns and diplomacy presses against Elizabeth's ribs as suffocating as the Scottish winter wind. Every action must be measured, every word calculated. The two women are linked by blood, yet separated by politics and fear. Elizabeth has learned to smile, to charm, to conceal the anxiety that gnaws at her heart. Mary moves like a flame, drawing attention, respect, and jealousy alike. It is a silent war, fought across borders and correspondence, where courtiers are pawns, alliances are weapons, and the throne itself trembles. In the shadowed halls of Whitehall, courtiers whisper, Mary approaches and the Queen shivers. Elizabeth's advisors warn her. The Scottish Queen is dangerous, unpredictable. Each plot she uncovers brings new dread. The fear that one letter, one secret meeting, could cost Elizabeth everything. The crown of England, delicate and precarious, rests on a queen who fears her own family more than foreign enemies. Mary is young, ambitious, and clever, and she holds in her hands the potential to overturn centuries of lineage and law. Even the Queen's closest allies understand it. This is no ordinary rivalry. This is a collision of dynasties, ambition, and destiny. Elizabeth cannot simply imprison Mary. To do so openly would risk war, scandal, and international condemnation. She must navigate treachery with a steady hand while concealing the storm inside her own heart. Every royal gathering becomes a theater of tension. Every banquet, a battlefield. Every smile and curtsy hides a dagger's edge. Elizabeth watches, calculating, learning Mary's mannerisms, her alliances, her desires. Every word from Mary Stuart carries the weight of potential upheaval, and every decision Elizabeth makes could echo across history. Mary's supporters whisper in corners, dreaming of a restored queen who will return Scotland to power and challenge England's throne. The game has begun, and in this game, there is no room for error. The crown is heavy, the enemy is near, and the sister Elizabeth fears the most unseen moves, plotting in shadows across her own kingdom. Elizabeth sleeps, but only lightly. A letter lies unopened on her desk. The seal bears the fleur-de-lis of France, Mary's handwriting. Elizabeth's fingers hover over it, knowing that one decision tonight could decide the fate of England, Scotland, and the lives of two queens forever intertwined. Scotland, 1565. The cold winds of Edinburgh pierce through the stone walls of Holyrood Palace. Mary Stuart walks the corridors with a purpose, her eyes glinting with determination. Every smile she offers conceals ambition. Every step she takes reverberates with power. Across the sea, Elizabeth cannot see, but she can feel the tremor. A cousin, a queen, a threat. Mary's arrival in Scotland is not just a return home. It is a statement. She is young, crowned, and unafraid. Her first marriage to Francis has ended in loss, but her heart remains unbroken. And yet, beneath the regal poise lies a calculated mind, aware that every move she makes is watched by Elizabeth's agents, by spies, by the entire continent. The Scottish court is a web of intrigue. Noble families jockey for influence, whispering secrets in shadowed chambers. Mary, fluent in charm and diplomacy, knows which words will sway hearts and which alliances will fracture. Every handshake, every banquet, every subtle glance becomes a test of loyalty. Back in England, Elizabeth's paranoia intensifies. She cannot ignore Mary OS' presence, a queen with the audacity to claim her cousin's throne, to gather allies, to inspire devotion. Every intercepted letter, every French envoy carrying Mary's voice across borders feeds Elizabeth's fear. Her counsel advises caution, yet even the most seasoned advisors struggle to read Mary's intentions. Mary is more than ambition in human form. She is a spark. Elizabeth, though experienced in statecraft, recognizes the danger in every glimmer of her cousin's eyes. Courtiers murmur of a queen who could sway men with a smile, yet hide daggers behind a hand. Elizabeth feels each rumor as if it were a knife pressing against her chest. Mary's letters, sealed with intricate flourishes, carry veiled threats and gentle persuasion alike. She reaches across borders, reminding Elizabeth that blood cannot be silenced. Elizabeth responds with caution, her replies measured, carefully worded, leaving no trace of fear. Yet her advisors see the tension in her hands, the sleepless nights, the cold apprehension that lingers behind her gaze. At court, the games intensify. Elizabeth must manage not only Mary's threats, but also her own courtiers, some of whom dream secretly of replacing her with the Scottish queen. Loyalty is tested daily. Alliances shift like sand, and every decision feels weighted with centuries of consequence. Mary, aware of Elizabeth's unease, subtly stokes the tension. Gifts are sent, promises whispered, alliances hinted at. Each move calculated, each action measured, all designed to remind Elizabeth Mary is alive, powerful, and watching. She is not a distant cousin. She is a force that cannot be contained, a storm that could drown kingdoms in its wake. Meanwhile, Europe watches. France, Spain, and the papacy recognize Mary's claim. Diplomats tread carefully, aware that one misstep could ignite war. Elizabeth, brilliant in politics yet haunted by fear, must act in ways that protect her crown without provoking open conflict. She navigates treacherous waters, every gesture a negotiation, every word a shield against betrayal. Mary's presence is more than physical. It is psychological warfare. Elizabeth sees shadows in corridors, reads double meanings in letters, senses conspiracies in casual remarks. The tension is relentless. Every day is a test of wits, every interaction a gamble with life, power, and the legacy of the throne. In the midst of political maneuvering, Mary demonstrates her charm and intelligence. She speaks French, Latin, and Italian fluently, impressing foreign ambassadors. Her poise is perfect, her laughter captivating. And yet, beneath the glamour lies ambition sharpened by tragedy. Elizabeth, aware of Mary's brilliance, recognizes that this cousin could challenge her in ways that few enemies ever could. The Queen's advisors urge caution, but Elizabeth herself knows that the threat is personal as much as political. Mary embodies all that Elizabeth fears: youth, ambition, charm, and the bloodline that could claim England. The sister she cannot control is not just across borders. She is a shadow over every decision Elizabeth makes, a presence in every sleepless night. By the end of Act 2, the stage is set for confrontation. Two queens, Cousins by blood, rivals by destiny, play a deadly game across borders. Elizabeth's fear grows, Mary's influence expands, and Europe watches, holding its breath. Every move, every letter, every alliance will shape the fate of crowns, kingdoms, and history itself. Europe, 1567. A continent teeters on the edge of intrigue. Couriers ride through shadowed forests. Letters sealed with wax carry secrets that could topple kings. Mary Stuart's ambitions stretch far beyond Edinburgh. Every whisper of her name stirs fear in England, anxiety in France, and plotting in Spain. Elizabeth feels it, even across the Channel. A storm is coming, and the queen she cannot control is at its eye. Mary's alliances extend beyond Scotland. France offers subtle support, the papacy provides moral legitimacy, and English Catholics watch eagerly, waiting for the moment when Mary's claim could ignite rebellion. Every action is calculated, every smile hides strategy. Mary writes letters with double meanings, feigning humility while asserting influence, reminding Elizabeth that the cousin she fears is never idle. Elizabeth's advisors warn her of the danger. Spies report secret meetings, coded correspondence, and whispered plans in the halls of Europe's courts. Elizabeth cannot ignore Mary, yet must appear calm, regal, untouchable. Each intercepted letter feels like a dagger. Every alliance Mary forges is a shadow over her crown. Paranoia gnaws at her resolve. Meanwhile, Mary thrives on subtle intimidation. She knows her cousin's strengths, weaknesses, and insecurities. In her presence, allies are drawn, enemies wary, and Elizabeth's confidence wavers. Mary's charm becomes a weapon, her ambition a threat. She is not just a rival queen. She is a living proof that power and blood cannot be contained by walls or borders. Plots begin to intertwine. Spanish diplomats consider intervention. Scottish nobles weigh loyalty against opportunity, and Elizabeth's court buzzes with suspicion. Mary's presence in Scotland becomes a symbol, a rallying point for those who see Elizabeth's throne as vulnerable. Elizabeth must act, yet every move carries risk. Misstep, and she could unleash rebellion or war. Inaction, and Mary's influence grows. The tension escalates further when Mary's supporters in England secretly communicate with her, fueling Elizabeth's fear. Couriers are intercepted, messages decoded, but not before seeds of uncertainty are planted. Elizabeth's sleepless nights multiplied, her counsel divided, her mind weighed down by the constant question: how to protect her crown without bloodshed, yet without surrender? Mary's brilliance becomes more evident with each passing day. She negotiates with foreign powers, secures alliances, and strengthens her claim with legal and dynastic arguments. Every gesture is both calculated and graceful, leaving Elizabeth's court uneasy. Elizabeth watches from her palace, aware that Mary's presence is not just a threat. It is a challenge to her intellect, her patience, and her very authority. Elizabeth's anxiety grows in tandem with Mary's influence. The English queen's paranoia is personal as well as political. Mary embodies everything Elizabeth fears: ambition, charm, and the legitimacy of blood. Courtiers whisper about Mary's cunning, her allure, her ability to bend situations to her will. Every word from Edinburgh feels like a ripple. Every alliance a possible earthquake beneath Elizabeth's crown. In the background, Europe's powers maneuver with careful calculation. France subtly supports Mary. Spain prepares contingencies, and the papacy exerts pressure through diplomacy. Elizabeth must navigate not only the threat of her cousin, but the geopolitical minefield Mary has mastered. Each decision is high stakes. One wrong move could ignite war, or worse, invite rebellion within her own court. Mary, aware of Elizabeth's apprehension, continues to send veiled messages and demonstrate her influence. Her presence becomes psychological warfare, a reminder that Elizabeth's throne, though secured by ceremony and loyalty, is vulnerable to ambition and bloodlines. Every intercepted letter, every foreign envoy, Every secret meeting heightens the tension, creating a relentless chess game across borders. Elizabeth's fears grow in intensity. She observes Mary's movements, reads her letters with scrutiny, and questions the loyalty of her courtiers. Every alliance Mary builds, every political maneuver she executes, becomes a thorn in Elizabeth's side. The queen she cannot control is not distant. She is a shadow that haunts her palace, a reminder that power alone is never enough. By the end of Act 2, the stage is set for confrontation. Mary's ambition spreads across Europe, Elizabeth's caution tightens around her crown, and the tension reaches its peak. Each queen knows the stakes: bloodlines, loyalty, and the survival of the throne. Every letter, every envoy, every whispered plot carries consequences that will echo through history. 1568. Mary Stuart crosses into England, a fugitive with royal blood and dangerous claims. The English court braces, whispers ripple through corridors, and Elizabeth watches from her throne, every pulse a warning. The queen she could never fully control is now under her roof, yet she cannot act freely. Every glance, every gesture, every secret meeting could be the spark that ignites chaos. Mary's arrival sets off a storm. Courtiers debate loyalty, diplomats speculate, and spies move silently through corridors. Elizabeth is forced into constant vigilance, balancing hospitality with suspicion, diplomacy with fear. The English queen's mind becomes a battlefield, her court a chessboard, every move dictated by trust or the lack of it. Mary navigates her captivity with grace, intelligence, and subtlety. She charms the household, manipulates her attendants, and sends carefully worded letters to allies abroad. Elizabeth reads each word like a dagger, knowing that behind every polite phrase could lie a threat, an alliance, or a plot. Every smile from Mary is a challenge. Every courteous gesture, a reminder of power Elizabeth cannot seize. The siege of trust extends beyond words. Mary's supporters within England plot quietly, hoping to restore her to power. Elizabeth's spies uncover fragments of conspiracy, but nothing is concrete. Each rumor fuels the queen's paranoia. Each intercepted message heightens tension. Elizabeth must weigh threats carefully, act too quickly, and she risks rebellion. Hesitate too long, and Mary's influence grows stronger. Mary's presence disrupts the court's delicate balance. Friends and allies of Elizabeth watch warily, unsure where loyalties lie. The English Queen's Council is divided between caution and action, each member torn between ambition, duty, and fear. Elizabeth feels the weight of her crown more heavily than ever, haunted by the sister she cannot entirely control. Mary remains calm, calculating every move. She hosts private conversations with foreign diplomats, subtly asserting influence while under surveillance. Elizabeth knows the game is psychological as much as political. The threat is not only Mary's claim to the throne, but the power she wields over minds, hearts, and loyalties. Tensions escalate with every intercepted letter. Mary's correspondence reveals potential plots, alliances, and appeals to Catholic rulers. Elizabeth's response is measured but deliberate. She tightens her grip on security, questions her counsel, and orchestrates surveillance that spans her palace and beyond. Every day is a test of patience, intelligence, and resilience, a slow-burning siege of trust that drains the English queen's strength and focus. Mary subtly tests Elizabeth's limits. She appears innocent, virtuous, and charming in public, while behind closed doors, her influence stretches like a spider's web, reaching courtiers, foreign agents, and even Elizabeth's closest confidants. Every encounter, every conversation is a power struggle disguised as civility. The personal and political intertwine. Elizabeth's fear is visceral. Mary's ambition is relentless. Letters from Europe, secret envoys, and whispered counsel remind Elizabeth that the threat is constant. Every decision carries consequences that could determine lives, crowns, and the future of England itself. Elizabeth's advisors urge decisive action, while others counsel patience. The queen must navigate a minefield of diplomacy, loyalty, and betrayal. Mary's intelligence and charisma ensure she remains both prisoner and puppet master, challenging Elizabeth at every turn. By the end of Act 4, Elizabeth realizes that ruling is not only about power, but perception. Mary's presence proves that influence cannot be measured solely by titles or fortresses. It resides in cunning, ambition, and psychological mastery. The siege of trust continues, a delicate dance where the stakes are life, death, and the fate of kingdoms. Mary's calculated composure contrasts with Elizabeth's growing anxiety, setting the stage for betrayal, imprisonment, and the ultimate confrontation between cousins whose bloodlines are intertwined, whose ambitions clash, and whose destinies are inseparable. 1586. Letters discovered, conspiracies exposed, the air thick with betrayal. Elizabeth grips her crown, knowing every heartbeat could signal disaster. Mary Stuart, her cousin, her rival, her shadow, has manipulated friends, foreign powers, and whispers alike. The throne is more fragile than ever, and a single misstep could destroy both queens. The evidence is damning. Plots linking Mary to conspiracies against Elizabeth, Catholic uprisings brewing across England, and foreign intervention looming. The English Queen's court is rife with fear, suspicion, and moral debate. How can Elizabeth punish her kin without fracturing her realm? Every decision risks blood, scandal, or rebellion. Mary walks through the palace with a calm elegance, her eyes holding secrets Elizabeth cannot reach. Every smile, every polite gesture is a challenge. The court watches her, divided between sympathy and fear. Even Elizabeth's most trusted advisors struggle with loyalty, knowing the wrong choice could ignite civil war. Elizabeth wrestles with conscience and the crown. Bloodlines demand caution. Duty demands action. Her nights are sleepless, haunted by the sister she cannot ignore, whose ambition could topple the fragile kingdom she has fought to protect. Every whisper of Mary's charm, every glimpse of her intelligence fuels both admiration and terror. The trial begins. Mary, composed, defiant, and eloquent, faces accusations that could end her life. Elizabeth attends through intermediaries, her power absolute yet constrained by familial ties. The courtroom is tense, every word measured, every glance loaded with meaning. Courtiers lean forward, sensing history unfold, the collision of kinship and politics, legacy and fear. Mary's defiance unnerves her enemies. She argues with intelligence, subtlety, and courage, exposing divisions in Elizabeth's council. Some sympathize, others are alarmed. All witness a queen unbroken by threat or imprisonment. The power of her presence is undeniable, and Elizabeth feels the weight of inevitability pressing down. Decision time. Elizabeth, serene yet iron-willed, weighs mercy against security, justice against fear. The crown demands protection, yet Elizabeth knows the consequences of spilling royal blood. Every second stretches like a lifetime. Courtiers hold their breath, spies watch. Foreign emissaries await news that could alter Europe itself. Mary is sentenced. Her fate is sealed by evidence, politics, and Elizabeth's cautious hand. Yet even in defeat, she maintains dignity, turning fear into legacy. Queen Elizabeth could not control becoming a symbol, her shadow lingering in halls, minds, and memory. Mary's execution, delayed but inevitable, is a quiet, somber affair. Elizabeth watches history's harsh lesson unfold. Power demands sacrifices, even of kin. Every life is intertwined with monarchy, ambition, and betrayal. The shadow of Mary lingers, a reminder that family and politics are inseparable, and fear often resides in love's most dangerous form. The palace returns to routine, yet tension never fully dissipates. Elizabeth's vigilance sharpens, her resolve deepens, and the story of rivalry becomes legend, a tale of intellect, ambition, and the fragile balance of trust. Mary's presence, even in her absence, reshapes the court, influencing diplomacy, security, and the perception of what it means to rule wisely. The Queen's story ends with Elizabeth on her throne, strengthened yet haunted, a ruler tempered by fear, admiration, and loss. Mary's shadow teaches that power is never absolute, influence is subtle, intelligence dangerous, and family ties are sometimes the deadliest force of all. The Tudor court is forever changed, and history will remember the sister Elizabeth could never escape. Years pass. Elizabeth sits alone in the quiet of her chambers, the crown heavy on her brow. Outside, the court buzzes with whispers, alliances shifting like fragile glass. Yet even in solitude, she feels the presence of Mary, a ghost of ambition, intelligence, and defiance that cannot be erased. Elizabeth reflects on her reign, the battles fought not only on foreign fields but within her own family. Mary's brilliance and audacity, though threatening, forced Elizabeth to grow sharper, more cunning, more compassionate in her judgments. The lessons of fear, respect, and vigilance are etched deep into her leadership. Courtiers tell stories of Mary, the cousin who dared challenge a queen, who became both legend and warning. Her name echoes in corridors, her intelligence admired, her ambition feared. Elizabeth, despite victory, cannot ignore the lessons her rival left behind. Every decision she makes carries the weight of that haunting influence. Mary Stuart's life, though ended by execution, reverberates through history. She inspires poets, writers, and rulers alike, a testament to the power of intellect and courage. Elizabeth's shadowed admiration blends with the necessity of ruling, teaching that greatness often walks hand in hand with fear. The Tudor court moves on, but the story remains. A queen who could not sleep, haunted by the sister she feared most. Family and politics, loyalty and betrayal, love and danger, intertwined in a narrative that shapes not only England, but the understanding of power itself. Elizabeth's gaze drifts to the horizon. The weight of her crown, the echoes of Mary's defiance, and the enduring tension between kin and kingdom remain. History records their rivalry as legend, a story of two women, two minds, and a world forever changed by their courage, intelligence, and the inseparable bonds of family and fear. And so, the tale ends, not with peace, but with understanding. Elizabeth survived, Mary's shadow endured, and the world learned that power is never just a matter of authority. It is also fear, wisdom, and the inescapable influence of those we cannot control. Years pass. Elizabeth sits alone in the quiet of her chambers, the crown heavy on her brow. Outside, the court buzzes with whispers, alliances shifting like fragile glass. Yet even in solitude, she feels the presence of Mary, a ghost of ambition, intelligence, and defiance that cannot be erased. Elizabeth reflects on her reign, the battles fought not only on foreign fields but within her own family. Mary's brilliance and audacity, though threatening, forced Elizabeth to grow sharper, more cunning, more compassionate in her judgments. The lessons of fear, respect, and vigilance are etched deep into her leadership. Courtiers tell stories of Mary, the cousin who dared challenge a queen, who became both legend and warning. Her name echoes in corridors, her intelligence admired, her ambition feared. Elizabeth, despite victory, cannot ignore the lessons her rival left behind. Every decision she makes carries the weight of that haunting influence. Mary Stuart's life, though ended by execution, reverberates through history. She inspires poets, writers, and rulers alike, a testament to the power of intellect and courage. Elizabeth's shadowed admiration blends with the necessity of ruling, teaching that greatness often walks hand in hand with fear. The Tudor court moves on, but the story remains. A queen who could not sleep, haunted by the sister she feared most. Family and politics, loyalty and betrayal, love and danger, intertwined in a narrative that shapes not only England, but the understanding of power itself. Elizabeth's gaze drifts to the horizon. The weight of her crown, the echoes of Mary's defiance, and the enduring tension between kin and kingdom remain. History records their rivalry as legend, a story of two women, two minds, and a world forever changed by their courage, intelligence, and the inseparable bonds of family and fear. And so, the tale ends, not with peace, but with understanding. Elizabeth survived, Mary's shadow endured, and the world learned that power is never just a matter of authority. It is also fear, wisdom, and the inescapable influence of those we cannot control.